Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Reba here. So I'm doing a little experiment. And of course, the topic is figs. Yet again. Anyways, so all the fruit tasting that I did yesterday, I went ahead and the fruits that had began to ferment, I blended up in my blender and I drained off the excess pulp as much as I could. And then I placed the seeds from those figs that I had from each grouping into the into these containers. As you can see, even the seeds look different from one another. Like, these ones are like, they're like completely different colors even, depending on which variety of fig tree that they came from. So this one looks a little bit like this one. Not really, actually. They all look different. How cool is that? So what I did was I took all of the figs that were starting to ferment from fig number 1 trees and out of Olive City, and I placed them into the blender, blended it up, drained off all the excess that I possibly could get, and I'm left with the seeds that down here at the bottom here. Anything that sinks is viable, anything that floats is not viable. So these are viable seeds, which I will be planting soon, probably this evening. Now, there's like, I've seen 3 different possibilities. Soak them for 1 day, soak them for 2 days, or soak them for 3 days. And I figure I'm just going to soak them for 1 day. So it'll be close to 1 day this evening when I'm going to put them into the pots. So it'll be roughly close to 24 hours, probably give or take a little less. So that's how this is looking. And then I'm not going to fill the pots up completely with soil. I know that they say, oh, use this, oh, use that. Well, you know what? In nature, the seeds just drop to the ground, somehow. Either the fruit decomposes or a bird dropping happens or something like that. And then the seeds at the top of the soil. It doesn't have lava rock. It doesn't have all these other things in it. And the seedlings sometimes will germinate and grow. So I am just going to put them near the surface of the soil, just kind of like rough it up just a little bit so that not all, some of the seeds might be covered just a tiny bit, but right at the surface, because these are really small seeds. And so these ones are from tree number 1. The ones in the Skittles container are from tree number 2. And tree number 2 is the one I believe that had more of the yellow skin to it, and this one has more of the green. You can kind of see the color of the skin there at the top. I wasn't able to get all of the residue out. This one is a little bit more green, so or a little bit more yellow, I should say. Come on now, focus. And then these ones were from the unknown Olive City gem off of my niece's tree. So there was fewer seeds here because there was a lot less figs that had spoiled from hers. So I will be putting these all into 3 different 1-gallon containers. Now I know I could spread them out and put them in a whole bunch of different containers, but I'm only going to put them into 1-gallon containers, tree 1, tree 2, and Olive City Unknown. I'm going to write on the outside of the container which tree they came from, and then I'm going to put possible seedlings, or like a P with seedling. That way we know which tree they came from, so we know the parentage and all of that. My niece sent me pictures of the trees. Tree number 2 was kind of intertwined with tree number 1 a little bit, she told me. So, and they were right next to dumpsters and like 2 olive trees, seriously. But anyways, yeah, so not in really ideal location. So that's how these are looking. And it'll be really nice to see how they grow out. Now I may end up with male trees. I may end up with, a common fig or whatnot. We'll just have to wait and see. This is all for the fun of just growing a tree from seed. And because they came from fig wasp country, why not, right? because you never know. It's going to take different genetics from each of the parent plants, you guys, and you're going to get a whole new type of fig. Now, it might still be, these two were still kind of white Adriatic style figs. And so these ones may have fruit that are white skin, or they might not. Same with this one. You never know what you're going to get, especially when the fig wasp is present, especially when it's taking lineage. It goes back to the past lineage, and we'll take genetics from the mother and the father's side of the seedlings. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what you're going to get, because you could really get something completely like amazing. You could get something that's just blah. You could get some, you just never know what you're going to get. And how much fun is just growing things from seed? I do this with apples. I've done this with pears. I've done this with peaches, cherries. And they always say, you get those master gardener people, and they always say, oh, well, I'm a master gardener. And not everybody comes off like this, but there's a lot of them that'll come off with the I know it all attitude, and you can't do that. And I've never been one of those people that will take kindly to somebody tell me I can't do something. Because how did you get that new variety of apple? That's right, sweetheart. You grew it from a seed. But then, if you find out that it's a really great variety, then you graft it onto a different type of root stocks. And the root stocks are important. I'm not dogging on master gardeners here. Not really. Root stock is important, because depending on where you live, certain root stocks are going to ensure that your tree is going to survive in those regions. It's going to adapt to the different soil. Maybe you live somewhere where it's really moist. Maybe you live somewhere where it's super dry. Different root stocks are going to behave differently for different regions and different climate zones and all that good stuff. So I'm not fully dogging on master gardeners, but I do want you guys to know, don't be afraid of people who are big fat bullies. Not necessarily they're fat, I'm just saying. But when they're being big bullies and all that good stuff, don't let that stop you from experimenting and just getting your hands in there and growing something, because you never know what you might end up with in the end. So anyways, you guys, I look forward to keeping you guys along for this adventure. I'm going to get these planted this evening, and then I will keep you along. We will be monitoring these every few days on my channel and just seeing what's happening. Is anything sprouting? And are we getting seedlings or are we not? So we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, you guys, thanks for commenting. Yes, please do that. But thank you for coming along, listening to me. And comment, like, and subscribe. Click that bell button. As always, make it a wonderful one. And God bless you all. Bye.